This is a pre-trip on 735. We're going to start by lifting that hood up and checking all of our fluids. So if you come inside, you should find a hood latch. You're going to pull that up. Then you should be able to pick this part up a little bit. Stick your hand in the middle of the hood. You should feel a latch. Slide that to the left. Pick the hood up. And there you go. Right up on the top of the hood, you'll see some writing. It takes 5W20, about 7 quarts when it's empty. And it takes Mercon LV fluid only for transmission. We're going to start from the left. Here's your washer fluid cap. This is on your passenger side. If you don't see any fluid in there, consider that empty. That's what the officer's going to say. Believe it or not, that's a violation. Check your battery terminals. Make sure those are tight and not corroded. This dipstick right here is your transmission fluid dipstick. It says so right on it. That cap right there is how you fill your oil and what kind it takes. And right behind the transmission fluid dipstick is your oil dipstick. So I'm going to set this thing up a little bit so I can check those fluids. The oil you check before you start the vehicle, and the transmission you check after it's been running for a little while. So for the oil is that little circle behind the transmission dipstick. If you can't break it free right away, just give it a little twist and it should pop right out. Make sure you wipe it off the first time. Then you stick it back in. Just till it's flush. Pull it back out. And now you're looking for your oil level. This oil was just changed. You can see it's kind of clean. The oil comes up to this second dot, which is where you want it. If it's anything below here, I would top it off a little bit till it comes up to that second puncture. Transmission fluid you check once it's running and has been running for a little while. I'm going to check it right now though, because you may not be able to hear me with that fan. It's the same concept. You pull it out, you wipe it off, stick it back in, and then when you pull it out the second time, that's when you're looking for your oil level. So I've had it running a little bit, just enough to get it in here, and it already says it's hot. So you want it to be in this range right here where it is, which is perfect. If it's anything below this hot range when you check it, I would top it off a little bit till it comes up to here. I wouldn't go crazy with it because you can really tell. But if you have to top it off, you got to stick a funnel in this hole, and that's how you fill it. Down in between the fan and the motor, you're going to see a belt. That belt right there, that black belt. That's the serpentine belt. When you're looking at it, make sure it's not worn or damaged or hanging off of one of the pulleys. That's not very good if it is, because that can cause a lot of damage. If you're looking down in between all the fluid tanks, that bar right there where my light is shining on, that is your steering column thing. Make sure that's not like loose and wiggly or anything like that, because that's how you're steering your vehicle. This reservoir right here is your power steering fluid. Make sure it's in between the max and min lines. Right here is your air filter box. Make sure this thing is all secure. Right behind that is your coolant tank. Once again, you're looking for the max and min range. You want the fluid to be in the middle. Right behind there is your brake fluid tank. Once again, max and min has to be in between. And then right next to that is your fuse box cover. Make sure this fuse box cover stays on so that way you're not corroding any fuses. I'm going to do one set of the fronts and one set of the backs. It'll save me a little bit of time. But your PSI rating for these tires are right here. They should be on all four corners. Make sure you check your tread by sticking your finger in there. Make sure it comes up almost halfway up your fingertip. That's enough tread. Check your lug nuts. Make sure those are all tight. Take a peek in the wheel well. Make sure nothing's hanging down or in the way of the spinning tire. That spring right there, you're looking for any cracks or damage. That shock right next to it, you're looking for any oil that may be coming down from the bottom half of it. Right there is your sway bar and tie rod. Make sure all of those are tight and in place. And then right behind your tire, you're looking in between the back of the rim and the ground. You're making sure no oil is coming down the back side of your tire. That could mean an axle seal leak. If you look into one of these holes, you'll see the rotor. You're looking for any waviness or anything like that. It should be smooth like it is right now. If it's wavy, that could mean that your brake pads are really low or your rotor got too hot. Either way, it's got to get replaced. Coming down the driver's side, you're going to find your gas cap. Make sure this cap is on and tethered and tight. You don't want anything in your gas tank, and you don't want to lose that gas cap. Same thing for the rear, pretty much. Here's your PSI rating. You're going to check your treads the same way. Make sure all your lug nuts are tight. Check your rotors. Make sure they're not wavy. Check your leaf springs. That's these things right here. Make sure they're not cracked or damaged. And once again, you're going to check your axle seals by observing any oil that may be coming down. If you open the back door, you're going to find a fire extinguisher on the seat. I don't know how long this thing is going to be in here because they just got it set in here. There's another one behind this seat, but I'm going to show you this one instead. You're looking for that yellow needle to be in the green. That tells you this thing's ready to go. And you're looking for this pin to be in the handle. That's just to make sure it doesn't discharge on you. If you push this lever or pull this lever forward, you'll be able to flip the seat up. And then if you look behind there, this red box that you can barely see, let me grab my flashlight. That red box right there to the bottom of the jack right there, that's your triangles. That's the fire extinguisher I know will be in here for as long as it possibly can be. But you're looking to see if these triangles are back there. Make sure those are there in case you have an emergency. You're going to want them. When you open the door of your cab, you should find a dealer sticker. It'll tell you how much this truck weighs. It's a little hard to see, but it looks like it says 4763, something like that. We'll have to ask what the GVWR is for this truck because it's really hard to read. Yeah, it's really hard to read on that. But I'm assuming this truck is under 10,000 pounds because it's just a normal pickup truck. You should also find your driver's log. You're going to need that because that's your checklist. That's what we're doing right now. Inside here, your keys should never be left in the vehicle without you in it. If you are done for the day, it should be locked up in the job box at the end of in the bed. That's to prevent any keys from getting locked in the trucks. Right here to the left of the steering column, you're going to find your parking lights and your headlights. We're going to check those. On this left joystick, you're going to see the the windshield wiper controls that control the speed. And this button on the end controls the wiper fluid. If you push this stick away from you, or towards you, if you push this stick towards you, like that, your high beams come on, and if you click it again, they come off. We're going to leave our low beams on for now so we can check those. We're going to stick our four-ways on. That's this button right here. We're going to check those. Your beacon switch is located on the dash to the right. Your height is on the dash at 11.6. And we're going to check our blower motor too to make sure all our settings work. Down here on the bottom is your CB radio. By spinning this dial, you can turn it on. Make sure it's on channel 2. That's how you talk to your coworkers. Check to see if it works by pressing this button on the microphone, like so. See if they can hear you and make sure that they can hear you. This is the universal on-off symbol for your aero board. You're going to hit that button, and then to select a mode, see if I can get it to focus, you're going to hit select mode, then you're going to hit these arrows to whatever one you desire. I'm going to say double arrow, and then you're going to hit enter. Now your double arrow should be on. You're going to do that for every mode just to make sure all of your lights work and to make sure that whatever this is displaying, your aero board is also displaying. While you're in here, you can look at all your glass, make sure nothing's broken, damaged, or missing. Check your seat belt. Give that a click. Tug on it a little bit, see if it comes out. Your e-brake is a little broken right now. Hopefully that gets fixed. I don't have a way to release it. But the way you check it is that you would push this down, put your foot on the brake, put it into gear, let your foot slowly off the brake. If the truck doesn't move, then that means your e-brake works. And you're going to do everything backwards to disengage that. You put your foot on the brake, put it back into gear, and normally this lever right here, you'd have to pull up on to get it to release. But I don't have a way to release it, so I'm not going to push it down. That seems to be a little broke. Beep your horn while you're in here. Make sure that works. I believe that covers everything in the in-cab except for the lights. So we're gonna check our lights. So we'll go corner to corner. You have a marker light on the side, your turn signal / four-ways, and your low beam. And it's mirrored on this side too. Marker light, turn signal, four-way, low beam. You have beacons up on each side of your aero board. And if you look at your aero board, you'll see some blinking lights. The middle ones right there and over there aren't going to blink with the double arrow. That's just how the setting is. So that's why you turn it to different settings to make sure everything works. You have your brake light, reverse light, and your turn signals. You have license plate lights right here and here. Make sure those are lit. You have the same thing on this side. Brake and turn signals in reverse. Now I'm going to shut most of my lights off, so I'm clicking off my four-ways. I'm turning off my aero board. I'm turning my beacons off. Now I'm just going to check high beams, and then I'll throw a turn signal in there. You'll know your high beams aren't working when you don't see a headlight lit. Both of the bulbs are in the same housing, it's just a different bulb. But as you can see, my turn signal is working and I have both my high beams. And you can kind of see from this angle that my turn signal is working. By now you should kind of get the point. Check all of your lights, your turn signals, brake, reverse. Brake and reverse lights you're going to have another person for. It's a lot safer that way. When you're by yourself, I would grab somebody and just have them check them for you. It's the safest way you could possibly do it. So, we'll go through our list once again. We checked all of our lights, turn signals, four-ways. We checked all of our glass, horn, and gauges. Your gauges, you check while the vehicle is running. Just make sure everything is working properly. Your parking brake, you would check if it was fixed. Your seatbelt, loose items, red, or your triangles, and your fire extinguisher we checked for. We checked all of our under hood stuff. That is your engine oil, belts, coolant, any other liquid. Your exhaust system you're checking for when you start the vehicle. It'll sound obnoxiously loud if there's a leak. Around the cab, we checked our fuel tank. Open and close your doors. Make sure that they latch. We checked our mud flaps. This thing doesn't have mud flaps. Check your brake components. We did that. Everything, all the suspensions, unusual sounds you're listening for as you're driving down the road or starting it. You'll hear it. All of our wheels and rims, all good there. Your driver's license for this would be a normal driver's license. You don't need a CDL. Make sure you have your medical card on you at all times and your proper PPE. It's a spray vehicle. It'll probably be something along the lines of safety glasses, gloves, long sleeve shirt, pants, boots, socks, etc. Your toolbox will normally be located in the job box on the back of the truck. It's not required for DOT checkpoints, but we like to stick that in there for you. Make sure you get a good night's sleep and your brakes are already adjusted, so you don't got to worry about that. Here's where your weight would go, and here's where your height would go. Once again, your height's at 11.6. If you can make out what that sticker says on the door jamb, go for it, but that's where your weight goes. This is where you'd put anything wrong with the truck. That's what your deficiencies mean, and then you get to sign your life away, and then have a good day.